I thought you were bae, but I guess you're just fam. Bruh. And welcome back, Spooky Friends. I'm your host, DJ, here with my co-host and executive producer,
Paul, as usual. And we are once again joined by a very special guest. Now, this queen is the dancing queen of Pittsburgh. She'll give you the twists, the twirls, the dips, the splits, anything you ever want to see. This queen will forever live in my head and my heart. She is none other than my friend and yours, Citrus Skies.
Hi, howdy.
Hi, girlie. How are you doing
welcome
today?
to the show.
Fruitastic.
Fruitastic.
I will take it.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's a banana.
Is that a fruit?
Is a banana not a fruit? Oh my god,
is it a vegetable?
See, I'm an illiterate bitch,
I don't think it has
won't know that.
seeds. I think it has
You heard it
seeds to
here,
be a
folks.
fruit.
Bananas are vegetables. How are you, Citrus?
I'm good.
That's
I'm good.
What
you
is
know?
going on with you? Tell us about what's going on in your life. What's exciting? What's happened to you this week?
Oh God. Oh, put me on the spot. No, just work, sleep, wake up. Work, rinse, repeat,
Right.
recycle.
Absolutely.
You know the grind. You know the grind.
Yes.
I'm always
yes.
grinding.
Right. Always being the most beautiful diva in the burg. It's a full-time job, really.
For damn sure.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
So, this is a paranormal podcast, and I'm sorry to get right into it, but I'm so excited. I have to know. Do you believe in the paranormal? Do you believe in ghosts?
I am not a non-believer.
Okay.
But I'm not like a true believer in ghosts, But I'm not like I'm not in denial. I'm open. I'm open to a lot of things.
Okay.
We love people open to exploring. That's my favorite category on Tinder.
Oh my god.
I was like, how can I make this a joke?
You're curious.
About polyamory. I was like, I'm open
Yes,
to the idea
I'm
of it.
open. I'm not as open as like when your legs are in the swing.
Hey, the Club Pittsburgh swing. You have to bleep out that.
We've made some. we, and by we I mean me, have made so many jokes about Club Pittsburgh. We're gonna move on. So I guess you've never had any paranormal experiences other than like getting ghosted.
I have damn. I'm sorry, I was so ready to. I was like, wait, I do actually have a story.
Wait,
and
rewind.
then you roasted the fuck out of me. Damn.
I'm sorry. Rewind. So Citrus, do you have any paranormal story or ghost stories?
Oh, not a ghosted story. No. Okay. Rewind. I'm 10.
Okay.
Gettysburg.
Okay.
Yeah, you know. I think that I was just 10 and like wanting something to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you're like okay, there has to be like some ghosts somewhere. Like
right.
Yeah.
I know what you
I'm like something needs to happen. But we were on like a night walk tour through downtown Gettysburg, and this it's the one, I don't remember what house it is. But like if you've ever been to Gettysburg, you know what house I'm talking about because no one lives there anymore, and there's a TV on. Like, it's been on for a while, because the lady that used to, like, stay there, like, and run tours out of it, just, like, got up and, like, left.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so the TV's still on?
Save this for the Gettysburg episode. Yeah, but
Gettysburg
the TV's,
Part
like,
2.
Gettysburg Part 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Exactly.
No, like the TV is on. Like it's not like on a channel or anything. It's like on like a blue screen.
Oh my god.
Uh-huh.
No,
and like yeah, and it was on. I fully believed it. I was like, no way. There's no like. It's probably exaggerated for ghost tour type stuff.
This is a believer podcast, so we'll believe you.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you for believing my truth. But that was on. We were walking by, and I like looked up at the attic window, and there was a curtain that kept opening and closing with nothing behind it. And I was like, I saw it.
That was just me.
That was my
stalking
ghost.
You.
That was my ghost moment.
At the age of 10.
I was following you. I was behind the curtain creeping.
No, seriously though, because from doing research for Gettysburg, I guess part 1, because there's just so many that we can revisit it.
You could do like 5 episodes.
Oh, there's so many, but like that's so common throughout the city is like curtains moving without anyone being there. I mean, the whole town is just so haunted.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So are you like someone who would like seek out having a paranormal experience? Or are you just like, they're over there, I'm over here, I'm okay where I am? Or like, is that something you'd be open to wanting to do?
I guess I'm not like seeking. I'm not like actively looking for it, but if it finds me, it finds me.
You sound like one of those girls looking for love. I'm not looking for it.
I feel like that's my whole bit. I'm like it's like you're obviously asking about like ghosts and stuff like that, but I'm like, but like wink wink, you know, like.
It's the next iteration of The Bachelor. You have The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, then you have The Golden Bachelor. Now you have The Bachelor Poltergeist. Would you join us? Because we are trying to form a drag paranormal investigation.
I literally was like thinking on my way here, I was like, how fucking funny would it be to be like in full high floor drag, like...
Yeah.
In a graveyard?
Yeah, in a fucking graveyard. Like, oh my god, that'd be camp.
It would be
camp.
We're planning it.
Camp.
Alex is in, Viv is in.
Oh, I'm there.
We just need to get Savannah and then.
Oh my god, Savannah's literally perfect.
Right. And I just want to know how many of these old timey ghosts would call us slurs.
I think they'd be like, faggot.
I think was when Alex was on. I was like, just the spirit box, like, is anyone here? Faggot. Spirit boxes are so mechanical.
Yeah, that is how they sound.
I was like, oh, she better not. Said I.
What you call me?
Oh my gosh.
I said, damn. Hate crime and beyond the grave.
Something touched my wig.
I'm like, oh, it's pulling on my legs.
I'm not tucked anymore.
Oh no!
There we go. I don't begin with.
I think that's a ghost that's a little too.
Oh, that's the fruity one.
Hey.
Yes.
he's saying faggot, but
he knows what he wants.
he's not saying this way, but he's saying.
Right?
He's saying wink, wink, nudge.
We very much that.
And you know what? At this point, I'll get what I can, like, take what I can get. If it's a ghost, at least something is happening down
You're
there.
like, I've lowered my standards enough to accept beyond the grave encounters.
For Valentine's Day, we did do ghost sex.
Hey.
We did, yeah.
That was a thing.
That episode was...
Is that an experience for either of you? Wait.
Ghost sex for either of us? No.
Okay. Oh, I was like, please tell me you got raw dogged by the spirit.
Oh my god.
No, but you can watch it back and hear the stories of the women who have left their living husbands for ghosts.
That's so funny.
Right. I only raw dog them if they're on prep.
Oh. You know, see.
Not the ghost STDs.
Exactly.
Spiritually transmitted
Spiritually transmitted diseases is crazy.
That's the next Exorcist movie.
Oh.
Spiritually transmitted diseases.
Paul, how was your week?
My week was fine. It was cool. Not much happened. So I'll just get right into the hot guy of the month.
Okay.
Hey, not the month.
Yeah.
Flavor of the week.
Exactly, but it's of the month. So this month's hot guy is Barry Keoghan. He is the actor from Saltburn. He's the short Irish one. He's so cute. And what I found out about him is he actually grew up in foster care and everything before he was a very famous actor. And so when he was a little kid, he had this picture of Hollywood on his wall. Well, I guess it was more of a poster. Okay. So he was always manifesting being this big actor and stuff. And he had a really rough childhood growing up. And why I bring this all up is the power of manifesting's real. He was manifesting being this famous actor from a young kid, right? And I think that's pretty cool because I think manifesting's really cool. And also there's a little story, how I just said he had a rough childhood.
Yes.
And brought himself out of it and everything to be this famous actor. You can do it, guys. If you put your mind to it, you can do anything. You can pull yourself out of anything. And Barry Keoghan's the perfect example of that. He pulled himself out of the rough situation. And now he's a famous actor. Yeah. Side note, he also had a picture of Marilyn Monroe on his wall, and now he's dating Sabrina Carpenter, Which
I did not know he was dating someone. That's
Oh.
crazy.
Right,
I didn't know that.
So he was manifesting some blondes too.
Hey.
I used to be
Hey,
blonde.
Barry, I'm blonde. I'm blonde with a wig on.
I used to be blonde. Of course, I was a blonde.
I remember your blonde era.
And also,
Oh, yeah.
I was a bottle blonde like Marilyn Monroe.
Huh?
I think we had the same shade.
And that full frontal and salt burn.
Oh,
Real. So,
I know it was
you know
real.
what?
Did you
If
see?
filmmaking wasn't in his future, porn was. Like, could have always been an
OnlyFans.
option. So,
That OnlyFans.
I was watching-
I'm firmly of the opinion that every hot guy has to be a little bit ugly to actually be hot.
right. No, he's like ugly, but like,
In a hot way.
in a hot way. Yeah.
You
Okay.
just
I'm
go-
glad we agree on this. Oh my.
Oh.
It's yeah.
Why
I
do you-
said that on the last episode.
Did
bitch.
you?
Yes, I said that on
Oh.
the last episode. That the guy has to be a little bit ugly to be hot.
Yes.
That was
This is a
4
bit.
days ago.
Yeah.
This is an ongoing bit now.
Yes.
Between then and now, drink had been taken with me a considerable amount of times.
Crazy.
That's
if I may, cuckoo cuckoo.
What does that mean?
It's like crazy, but like more extra, you know. Like
weird.
I don't know. It just kind of like I had to coin it. I didn't coin that statement originally. I will say.
it's
All
okay.
credit to Joey Young.
I
that's-
love
that is
Joey.
I
We
know.
gotta get Joey on here.
Oh, I love
my
Joey.
my
We
sister,
need to get Joey on here.
my fellow skies.
Oh yeah, we need
Uh,
to
We have to
get
get
Joey.
Indy and Luna on here. We
Oh
have
my
such
God.
a we have a
You gotta
guest
get through
list
all the
that we're
all the
like
girls. Luna and Julie
inviting
so much
people
fun.
on. Like
Yeah.
as we see them, we go, "Oh, we have to have you on."
There's so many people we want on.
Yeah, but
We have to
April's
prioritize.
so booked up.
No.
Anyways, DJ, how was your week? I'm so glad you two asked me. So I had to get up early today to go get my yearly physical.
Ooh.
And so I get back and we all know I live with my grandparents and I'm sitting before work, I'm sitting having coffee, eating breakfast with my grandmother, and I think she goes, what type of, because we're recording this the week before Easter, what type of Easter candy should I go buy? And I said, what did you already get? You said you got stuff. And she said, I got 1 bag of Lindt truffles. And I said, I don't know. That's enough. I'm trying to lose weight. And she leans in and she goes, you went to the doctor today. How much do you weigh?
Damn!
Oh my god.
And I go, Rose, you're not supposed to ask a lady
Not the
that.
government name. Oh my
And
god.
she goes, I'm asking anyways. And I go, well, how much do you weigh? And she goes, I weigh. And I'm not going to out her for that because I'm a much nicer grandson.
It's the censoring again.
And she goes, I weigh, beep. And I go, damn, I didn't expect you to answer. Now I have to. And so I go, I weigh. And I'm going to censor myself. I weigh, beep. And she goes, damn, you do need to lose weight.
Damn!
Oh, she's reached the no filter point of
And
her.
I went,
Yeah.
I literally stood up, slammed the table into the chair, and stormed out of the room. And then I came back and she said, I was teasing. You look fantastic. You just need to do some exercises to get rid of your belly.
Oh my
Damn.
god. She was like, JK, but like, yeah.
And
But love you mean it.
my grandfather just had surgery, so he's in the living room right next door sleeping in the recliner. And I actually woke him up with my slamming and my stomping. And so I'm like standing there and he's like, deer in the headlights, like,
Oh
what's
my
going
God.
on? And I go, your wife just called me fat. And he goes, I'm not touching that. And then went back to sleep.
that ain't my business.
And that's why I drink. And with that,
Hey, on that note.
and fans of And That's Why We Drink, please don't at me. I said that as a fan. So let's get into our paranormal pairing for the week.
Hey.
We have a Sauvignon Blanc from The Crossings.
Oh, I think I know him.
We're going to get to know her intimately. The Crossings is an elegant expression of Marlborough Sauvignon Blanc, New Zealand sun, cool nights, and sustainably grown grapes give the wine a clean, crisp style with hints of citrus and generous tropical fruit flavors. That's not why I picked this. But
I was like, oh my god, you picked it because of me. Stop.
Yeah, we did.
Honestly,
you're like, just
looking back on it, there was a bottle of limoncello. And I should have done that.
Well, you went for the theme of this week's episode.
Also, last week Paul added me because he said that I was reading the backs of the labels too sensually, and on this one, I didn't do it, but I ended up being Moira Rose from Schitt's Creek.
Oh my god!
So
what's so wrong with reading the label in a sensual manner?
In the lee of a picturesque valley lies a small, unpretentious winery. That was a good crack.
That was good.
Silence for the pours.
Ooh, ASMR.
Guess first.
Ooh.
Period.
Oh,
okay.
Let me just.
I did that
For
gay pour of it.
the entire glass. He said, "You're not dry. You're not dry."
I will admit, I zoned out in the middle of that pour.
You just don't pour a third one. You're just like, I'm just drinking out of the bottle.
Right. She said, I forgot what I was doing halfway through.
I mean,
She smells.
is she like?
She smells fruity.
She smells fruity.
Yeah.
Oh. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, queers.
Cheers.
That is crisp.
Okay, yeah.
Very fruity.
Well, yes.
Getting a lot of the citrus.
Period. That's
I was
a good wine.
I was a little nervous that it was gonna be like, like
Dry.
some wines are like punch you in the face
Yeah.
a bit.
See,
She's a gentle girl.
Yeah,
She's a
some
gentle girl.
Sauvignon Blancs are sour.
Oh yeah.
This is not.
No, it's like water after the filter's gone bad, if you know what I mean.
It does.
Yeah, it gives that. It's when I drink water and I'm like, time to clean the filter.
Have you ever had like an infuser bottle?
I think so.
And it kind of tastes like the water from the infuser bottle after you take the fruit out, but you haven't quite cleaned it. Like you still taste the fruit.
Yeah. It's like a little like whisper of fruit.
I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5 grapes.
Oh.
That's our ranking system.
We do grapes, so you rate it out of 5 grapes, 1 to 5.
Slay.
So how many grapes would you give it, Citrus?
Can I actually just like taste it one more time?
Yeah, of course.
Get up in the game.
I'm gonna say 4.5. I'm gonna say 4.5.
4.5?
Yeah, this is actually
Okay.
this is a good ass wine.
Okay.
Yes, 10 out of 10 do recommend actually.
I think I'll give it 3.5.
Okay.
I've had better. It's pretty okay.
Sounds like Grinder.
Right, exactly.
Had better, but we'll keep trying it.
Hashtag Dick did not know how to use it.
A little too dry.
See, I'm not getting dry on this. Or were you talking about the grinder?
Yeah, that's a grinder joke. Gosh.
We're talking about wine. You can't use wine terms about hookups.
Well,
although that would be a really good way for us to talk about hookups in the office.
That's true.
Uh,
All right, DJ.
All right, Citrus. Paul, let me tell you a story. Jack Thayer wrote, "It seems to me that the disaster about to occur was the event that not only made the world rub its eyes and awake, but woke it with a start, keeping it moving at a rapidly accelerating pace ever since with less and less peace, satisfaction, and happiness. To my mind, the world of today awoke April 15th, 1912. He was writing of the aftermath of the sinking of the RMS Titanic, which claimed the life of his father, along with 1,500 other men, women, and children, in one of the worst and most infamous maritime disasters in history. In the wake of all that death, how can a few spirits not come back to walk the earth which they did not get to land on after the failed crossing? Today we will be discussing Ghosts of the Titanic."
Ooh.
Spooky.
Very spooky. And Citrus, you've told me you were a Titanic kid growing up.
I've been waiting for this moment since we've talked about literally New Year's.
Yeah.
Right.
Like literally at 50 to 1 New Year's, I was like, first of all, how dare you do a Titanic episode without me?
It wasn't even out yet. It wasn't even
Oh,
out
no,
yet.
I know.
It was like
I heard there's a Titanic episode happening. So I was like, put me in the second one.
Absolutely.
But I was like so intrigued with the Titanic as a child.
I mean, they say like when you're growing up as a gay kid, you're either obsessed with the Titanic.
Boots
I'm raising
down.
my hand.
Yes.
Royalty. I'm raising my hand again. And like, there's a list of other things. Oh, ancient like Greek or Egyptian mythology.
Okay, I was both of those too, because I used to have like the little like mythology books, like the Egypt one.
Yes, Egyptology. We talked about
Egyptology.
We talked about that on our Ohm City episode.
Eh?
So, for those of you who don't know what the Titanic is and you didn't listen to our previous episode, or you're just here for the ghost stories of the Titanic, we're going to do a quick recap of the actual happenings. And Citrus, please help me.
In case you're an illiterate fuck.
In case you don't know shit.
Oh my god. The royal, and I'm going to do this as quickly as possible because Paul could not give two shits less.
You're not wrong.
Oh wait, I have something.
Oh, wee.
Don't worry, the pill will clear it right up.
So
That was a chlamydia joke.
We're doing a episode about boats, and so I figured, as I'm steering this episode, I am the captain.
Oh my god.
And Citrus.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna kill myself.
As a fellow Titanic kid, I want you to help me steer the boat so you can be my first mate.
Oh my god!
Don't worry, Paul. I didn't forget about you.
I'm in my own personal...
Visual.
You can give two shits left, so you are crew. And you can swap the deck while me and Citrus steer.
I am in my own personal hell.
Oh my god, wait, I have to like go on a tangent on that. Because first of all, I fucking love that. You like gooping. Oh yeah, totally.
Or the fact that I got hats that said captain, first mate, and crew.
You gooped and gagged me a bit.
You got this just for this episode.
Yes!
Bitch, I need everyone at home.
Take commitment.
Take your hands off the steering wheel, go to our Instagram, and look at these fucking hats.
Yes. Baby, get into the visuals. The audience needs to see.
When I told you that I had a joke with props, I meant it.
I love it. Wait, my tangent, because you brought up like the steering the ship. If you've ever, this is like Pittsburgh thing.
Yes.
Like I don't know if this was like a traveling exhibit, but they had, like the Science Center had like the Titanic exhibit.
There's one going on right now.
Oh, you know what? I want to go.
What are you doing next weekend?
I just didn't want to go. I don't want to go alone. I was like,
I'll go.
I don't want to be like.
Go next weekend.
I thought it'd be weird if I'm like walking around just like. I feel like I'd be like a Disney adult, but like the Titanic version, you know.
Oh.
But like
shit.
they had.
I'm just getting called out left and right. I'm a Disney adult too.
They had back when. They had like a simulation where you could like steer the ship.
Oh, no.
No, I was great
You were
at
good
it.
at it?
Yeah, I literally got the Titanic all the way to the US, and I was like, I don't see how it's so hard.
Okay.
I was like, if I can do it at 10, like that's embarrassing. That's a skill issue.
Right.
Like little 10-year-old me, like ate that.
How soon did you see the iceberg though?
Oh yeah, there was like it totally gives you like a notification. It's like, ooh, iceberg coming. Which I guess they don't get notifications in like the 1900s, but
They should have.
in like 1917, they're like, oh, where's my iPhone?
Right.
All right, now that I nearly forgot the joke. Okay, so our recap. The Royal Mail Steamer Titanic was an ocean liner built by Harland and Wolff shipbuilders of Belfast, Ireland for the British White Star Line. She was the second ship of a planned trio of ships designed to be the largest and most luxurious ships afloat at over 4 city blocks long and 11 stories high. At the time of her voyage, she was the world's largest man-made object and the largest moving object in the world. She was also built with the very latest safety features, including 16 watertight compartments, of which up to 4 could be compromised, and she would stay afloat, which caused commentators of the day to describe her as, quote, unsinkable.
That's embarrassing.
Unquote.
And when he says her, he's referring to the Titanic, the ship. He calls.
Oh yeah,
the
no,
ship
gay
her.
lingo, everything's her.
Okay, period.
Mary.
Also,
This
ship lingo. The
boss,
ship is always
she, her.
girl.
Like the wine, she, her.
Very bad.
Like
we're all dolls and divas and girls.
Hey, everyone's a doll and a diva. Yeah. Okay, my favorite conspiracy theory, and I just want to like keep going on tangents because I know so much.
Don't
about
go
the
too
Titanic.
much into the conspiracy theories because we are going to do an
Oh, no,
episode
is
on
this-
those, and we can invite you back for that.
Please do. I love conspiracy theories. I love the most like crazy, insane, like unethical conspiracy theories. I'm like, yes, the Earth is flat. I'm not a flat
Kate
earther.
Middleton's body double.
I'm like, where is Kate Middleton? The video was AI. But no, wait, I don't know if you're gonna get into this on the pod, but like my like favorite thing with the Titanic was that they intentionally sunk the ship.
Yes,
And this is
that
not.
one of
I'm
the
not
big
like.
ones.
I'm not like claiming this to be fact. So don't fact check me and then bully me on the internet. Like don't send me hate messages on Instagram.
This is a
But,
They're all gonna be from me. I'm just gonna
It's all just-
cyberbully
it's all
you.
just Paul.
You were already planning on
Literally-
cyberbullying both of us when you heard Titanic.
Like you said.
Right.
But like they intentionally sank it, and it wasn't even the original Titanic. They swapped out the
Yes.
ships for like it was like some kind of like.
So
What is
we're
it?
gonna-
What is it? It's like
For an insurance scam.
It was an insurance. Yeah, it's like I'm not gonna.
I don't want to do too
This
much.
can get edited out, but it's like
I'm
the house
definitely
that
gonna
blew up in
have-
Plum.
Definitely
Definitely
have you back on.
insurance scam.
Definitely
Gonna
gonna have you on for Titanic conspiracy theories, and we're gonna wild out.
Please.
She left on her maiden voyage from Southampton, England on April 10th, 1912 with an intended destination of New York City. She was a transatlantic ship, which meant she only did crossings. She was not a cruise ship.
Damn, we need visuals so bad. That was so good.
Thank you. I tried.
I was like in here. I'm like, if y'all could see this in person, the visuals are visualing.
Gooning and gobbling.
Not
Gooning.
gooning. Oh no. Do
It's
you know
all
what
the-
that
it's
means?
all the
Oh, maybe we should cut that out.
No, keep it. That's hilarious. We're not gonna get into gooning, but I just think that's so funny.
Her passenger list for this one voyage included some of a virtual who's who of the great and good, including real estate magnate and hotelier J.J. Astor and his 19-year-old new wife Madeline, Macy's department store owner and former U.S. Congressman Isidor Straus and his longtime wife Ida, military aid to former President Theodore Roosevelt and current military aid to then President William Howard Taft, Archibald Butt, famed painter and sculptor Frank Millet, writer, activist, and spiritualist W.T. Stead, and many, many other great and good people in first class. But you know the White Star Line, they made the ship so luxurious for the first class with these beautiful staterooms decorated in various styles and the grand staircase. I would kill to be able to walk up and down that staircase, even though I get winded on stairs.
It looked so beautiful in on the movie.
I know. And they destroyed it. They actually sank it and it got ripped out by the water.
Oh, I didn't know that actually did that.
Yeah, and so they figured out that's probably what happened on the real ship because they built it to the original specifications just a little bit bigger and the water actually ripped it out.
That's crazy.
Because it was all wood.
That is
and linoleum.
Oh.
But linoleum was super fancy in 1912.
Damn.
But the White Star Line's bread and butter was the third class, taking immigrants from the old world to the new world. So most of the people on the ship were third class, and that's really what they did. And on the Titanic, their third class was as nice as second class on most other contemporary ocean liners.
Oh.
And plus, they had hot meals and indoor lighting and indoor plumbing and showers, which a lot of people in first class didn't have then.
Mm-hmm.
On April 14th, 1912, in the middle of the North Atlantic, the ship struck an iceberg at 11:40 p.m., which punctured 6 of her watertight compartments. What did I say about the watertight compartments 5 minutes ago? How many could be compromised?
Which I don't remember. I'm not good at math.
We're gay. 4.
That's right. I definitely didn't hold up 4 fingers to help you.
For reference, DJ held up 4, and I was like, oh, yes, 4.
She can count.
I have it written in front of me.
I can math numbers.
Added to the inevitability of her demise, she carried 2,200 passengers and had a total lifeboat capacity of 1,178.
Yeah, girl, they were gooping gag. They weren't. They did not see it coming. Actually, back to the conspiracy. They did. They knew. It was an inside job. But...
Despite the glaring discrepancy between the number of people aboard and the capacity of lifeboats, only 700 people were saved, and the other 1,500 were left to freeze in the frigid water. The only ship close enough to respond was the RMS Carpathia, who, making full speed, arrived 4 hours after the initial distress call at 4 a.m., 2 hours after the Titanic sank, and transferred the survivors back to New York City.
Ooh, that's a long time to be in that cold water, bitch.
They didn't even make it. Like, if you're in the water, like, not in a lifeboat, you made it maybe half an hour if you were lucky.
Yeah.
Well, maybe, like, they froze to death.
Boats.
Like...
So, you know that part in the movie Titanic?
Yeah.
Where you see Jack and Rose, and she's on the door, even though 2 people could fit. That's the real conspiracy theory.
The real conspiracy theory is that Jack could have fit on it. He was just feeling a little drama on it. He just wanted to have his main character,
and
his main character moment.
They're there, and everyone's screaming. It's like, somebody will come back. Somebody will come back. And then it's this hard cut, and it's like, we have to go back. And then it's hard cut, and everything's silent. And you think, oh my God, it must be hours later. It was probably 15 minutes. And that's what the movie doesn't show you, this was a very quick death.
Oh, yeah. His bitch was hypothermia.
All right. Due to the huge scale of death and the trauma of that April night, it is somehow unsurprising that there would be some lingering spirits from the disaster, which we are going to discuss in this episode. The first place we will be discussing is the Jane Hotel. Now, this is in New York City. It was originally constructed as the American Seamen's Friends Society Sailors Home and Institute.
See, I
saw that like glimmer, and I was like, Paul, I saw that.
Right,
I wanted to say it so bad,
so fast that nobody would hear it. We're just gonna call it the Sailor's Home, or the Seaman's Friend.
There's no way you can swing that doesn't sound like some like porn dog. Like it sounds like a porno.
Who did I say once? I saw something and I was like, I would kill for a cute little sailor suit or a cute little sailor.
Honestly, mood.
So it opened in 1908, and this was a place for sailors who were in for port to have a place to stay. And this is where the majority of the crew had stayed in the first few days after the Carpathia landed in New York. Mm-hmm. Upon arrival, the crew, who had lost everything, their clothes, if they had any money saved up, any personal possessions, and their pay, because at this time, if you were a sailor on a ship, your pay stopped the moment the passage stopped. So the moment the Titanic went under, they stopped getting paid.
That's some bullshit. I'd fight.
That was some...
They're not even like workers' comp.
No.
Like, they're like, damn, my place of work sunk.
It was very much like contract work. Yeah. So they were given a change of clothes, hot food, and a room to stay in for as long as they needed to. Which was good because initially the owner of the company, J. Bruce Ismay, had wired from Carpathia to the offices in New York and said, hold this other ship. We're going to get off and get, like, me and the whole crew are going to get off and get on this other ship and go home. And before Ismay could get off the ship, United States Senator William Smith boarded the ship and served him with a subpoena.
Yo, what the fuck? That's crazy.
Gooped her.
Well, he was the owner of the ship that just sank.
He was like, let me gag her a bit.
Right.
Let let me get this bitch together. He had his scrunchie, he pulled his hair up, he said, let me get this bitch together.
It was also at the Jane that the crew organized a special memorial service for their fallen friends where they sang the hymn, Nearer My God to Thee, with a reported mighty roaring chorus. Why do you look like you want to say the most unhinged shit right now?
I have nothing going on up here. You have to keep going because I have nothing going on.
They were inviting some ghosty shit. They were like, come here.
So Nearer My God to Thee is the hymn, supposedly the last song played by the band as the ship went down, and they famously played on.
Tell me it wasn't Body by Megan Thee Stallion.
Right? Yes.
I mean,
I'd have been getting down.
I mean, they were supposed to play uplifting
like,
music to like stop people from panicking. So like,
they're like, how can I possibly panic? Like,
play some WAP.
Can you imagine? Oh my god, I'm like hanging on to like the.
Somebody get.
I'm like hanging on. I'm like, oh no.
Somebody get some like Anaconda on violin. Just like.
They start playing Bigfoot.
Oh.
They're like, the guy's like, fragments.
So this
bitch.
I'm just gonna leave it to the American Seamen's Friends Sailors Home remained in the building until 1944 when it was converted into a YMCA hotel renamed the Jane West. In the 80s, it was a hipster hotel. Now that's where it became real haunted, but only by expensive coffees. Hipster hotel. Expensive coffees.
That was a good one, DJ.
Yeah, I was like
sitting
here like,
sometime.
I have to think about that. I knew it was a joke.
Before being renovated into a luxury hotel for its centennial in 2008.
Oh.
Despite the grand restoration, it seems that the pain of the past remains. Throughout the hotel, there are cold spots. Cold like a cold April night or an iceberg. Nothing.
Keep going, girl.
Nothing.
No, you're gonna...
Paul's so checked out. He's like, let's get this over with, bitch.
I was like, you were like, you stopped talking. I was like, oh no, we need to react. Wow, so cool.
We're gonna do hand
That's
signals.
crazy.
This means gasp. This means applause.
Oh my god.
I for real do that, though.
Applause.
The elevators routinely malfunction and will run on their own without anyone on them. Guests will see transparent figures in the hallways. They can also hear loud sobs coming from empty spaces or from rooms where they're alone.
That's just me.
We know, Paul, weeping over your last failed Grindr date.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My failed life.
Where your card got declined after you slammed it on the table aggressively.
Crying about the pics from my last drag booking. Bitch, I looked a mess.
You better drag the shit out of each other.
I said my last drag booking. I was dragging the shit out of myself. It's okay if you drag the shit out of yourself.
Oh, and Will. And
yes.
Will.
One particularly spooky occasion at the Jane occurred when a ghost saw a white transparent figure of a woman through a porthole in a door. The guest opened the door to see no one was on the other side, and when they closed the door, they saw the figure was still there looking through the porthole.
That's creepy as fuck.
That would have me gooped and gagged.
Right?
I'd be out of there. I'm like, bye. It's nice knowing you guys. I'm leaving. I'm literally like, I'm finding a fucking Airbnb.
Check out, please.
Right. Like
you will not catch me there. A minute.
I need
After
more than
that.
a continental breakfast for this.
Damn. Oh, like a nice amenities might be like, I can hang out with the ghosts a little bit.
I could look up their amenity. I mean, it is a luxury hotel.
If the breakfast is nice, I'll be like, hey Casper.
okay.
Good morning. See you after breakfast.
Jack, you here?
Like Jack.
Pencils. Draw me like a French girl. The Jane is now one of several New York City landmarks included on the Ghosts of the Titanic tour run by Burrows of the Dead Ghost Tour Company each April.
Huh, I didn't know they did that.
I gotta do that Titanic. I didn't know they had a Titanic tour in New
Only in
York.
April.
That's
Only
next
in
month,
April.
bitch. Book your ticket.
Bye. See y'all in New York City. Show up in hardcore drag. Like, hey, ready for my Titanic. ready to see the haunted places in New York from the Titanic.
We can both fit on the door.
You can have more wine if you want to.
Yeah.
Please, just help yourself.
I was about to ask, like, can I have more wine?
Yeah.
That's all you, bro.
I'm like, the fun juice.
Yes.
The next guest we'll be discussing is that of Captain Edward John Smith. He is one of the most famous victims of the disaster, and he was indeed the captain who was in charge of the ship.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, period.
Now, Smith had a very long maritime career, beginning when he was 17 years old and began an apprenticeship on a sailing ship.
Okay.
So, like, his career, like, literally straddled from, like, sailboats to, like, this top-of-the-line next generation boat.
Okay.
In 1880, which was like pretty into his career, he was hired by the White Star Line and quickly rose to the ranks, receiving his first command over the RMS Republic in 1887. He joined the Royal Navy Reserve and during the Second Boer War captained the RMS Majestic as a troop ship and was awarded the Transport Medal by King Edward VII for his work.
And this was the head of the Titanic?
Yes.
Okay.
Smith gained a reputation as a safe captain for his
He said condoms only.
for his safety record and soon garnered a following among the rich and famous who crossed the Atlantic on his ships, which earned him the nickname the Millionaire's Captain, with some of these millionaires refusing to cross the Atlantic unless he was captaining their ship. In 1907, he remarked to a reporter, "I have seen but one vessel in distress in all my years at sea. I never saw a wreck and never have been wrecked, nor was I ever in any predicament that threatened to end in disaster of any sort."
Oh yeah, he set himself up for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Karma is real, and her name is Captain E.J. Smith. Beginning in 1904, the White Star Line made him Commodore of the line and began to make him captain of their newest ships as they entered service. As such, in 1911, Smith took command of the RMS Olympic, Titanic's older twin sister. On Olympic's maiden voyage, an incident occurred when the ship was docking New York when a tug assisting the liner was caught in her wake and was briefly trapped under her stern before freeing itself without any major injury. Later that same year, the Olympic collided with the HMS Hawk, which is a Navy ship, in an accident which caused the Hawk to lose her bow and for two of Olympic's watertight compartments to flood. Olympic would have to return to Belfast for repairs, with labor and parts being diverted from the near-completed Titanic. In February 1912, Olympic, while still under the command of Smith, lost a propeller blade which necessitated the taking of one from the still not finished Titanic, delaying the Titanic's maiden voyage 4 weeks while the propeller was made. And what I have to say is, you go your entire career, 40 years, without any incidents, and then in the course of 1 year, you have 3 accidents. And the company says, here's a new, bigger boat.
Damn, girl, that just sounds like a skill issue.
I mean, the
Titanic.
But here, well, yeah, Olympic was much bigger than his last command, but like,
maybe he
but like he had a whole year to work out the kinks on Olympic before taking Titanic, which was only slightly bigger. So he was given command of the Titanic in April 1912, and shortly before that, he told a reporter, "I cannot." I'm sorry. This is just
no.
Such
I know
irony.
exactly what you're about to say. I know exactly what you're about.
I
to say.
cannot imagine any condition which would cause a ship to founder, which means to sink. I cannot conceive of any vital disaster happening to this vessel. Modern shipbuilding has gone beyond that.
Yeah, he basically was like screaming into the universe, "Sink the ship, bitch!"
Right.
Oh my god, he was asking for it.
My God.
Oh, not to say that I'm victim blaming.
Right.
On the pod, not to
needless
victim
to
blame
say,
on the pod.
Modern shipbuilding did not go beyond that because the ship was not designed for the exact thing that happened. During the disaster, there were conflicting reports of Smith's actions and behaviors. Some cite Smith as a hero who did all he could to prevent panic, to smooth the way for an orderly evacuation, and to save as many people as he could. Others state that grappling with his first major accident in 40 years caused him to become gripped with indecision, leading to conflicting commands and orders, some of which made no sense, which only hindered the evacuation.
Oh.
Smith's final moments were spent releasing his crew from their duties, saying, "Well, boys, do your best for the women and children and look after yourselves, and be British," before walking onto the bridge shortly before the ship went under and going down with his ship, which is exactly how he would want to. Jesus Christ,
The wine is getting you, girl.
Which is exactly how he would have wanted to die.
We'll see.
I can't imagine, like, that being the way I'd want to die. Like, I'm like, hell yeah. Like, I literally am a captain of, like, 40 years, and I die
So there are
on a sinking ship.
There are conflicting reports of his death. Some say that he did walk to the bridge and he went down on the bridge. Others say that was very idealized and that they saw him actually, as the bridge went under, he dove off into the water. And that he was actually later seen carrying a baby to a lifeboat, and then he swam off supposedly to try and save more people, and that he disappeared. Other people that he actually shot himself in the final moments because gunshots were heard on the ship, but nobody knows where they were shot from.
Mm-hmm.
Officers did have guns which were loaded, and shots were fired multiple times. There was one confirmed with an officer who was in a lifeboat, and as it was being lowered, he shot over the side to scare people from trying to jump in it. But then later shots were heard, and nobody could say where they were from.
Oh.
Despite the fact that he probably did die the way he wanted to, finally I can say it, his ghost is very active.
Really?
On the night of the sinking, his wife Sarah was in the family's home in Southampton in the family's drawing room when she saw her husband manifest before her, cross the room without looking at her, and disappear. And later she stated in that moment she knew her husband had died.
Oh, that's so spooky.
Damn.
I don't know. I'd want to see like the ghost of my significant other after they were dead. I don't know.
It's not even like she knew either.
Right.
Like, you imagine you're like, oh shit, you're
He
here
was
early.
either 62 or 63, so she could have been like, damn, he had a heart attack.
Oh, that's true. That's true. She was waiting for that bitch to die. She was ready for it.
I don't know.
She said, "I'm ready to be a widow, live my widow fantasy."
I heard they had a pretty good life together. They had a daughter named, I forget the daughter's name.
And that's okay.
That's
Insert
fine.
daughter's name right here.
At the Adelphi Hotel, also in Southampton, in the Sefton Suite, which is claimed to be a replica of the Titanic smoking room, the ghostly apparition of Smith and two officers can be seen appearing and conversing with one another. So I don't know if that's like some residual thing, like...
So that's actually on the boat?
No, this isn't a hotel.
Oh, were they all at the hotel?
No, but supposedly this room is a replica of one of the spaces on the ship.
Oh.
And now the Titanic's older sister ship, Olympic, did go on to have a good career, and when she was dismantled for parts, her interiors were auctioned off, and you can actually go to hotels in England where they have the original pieces of the Olympic, which I really want to do one of these days.
You got this. I believe in you.
Thank you. I've already, gone to Belfast and seen the Titanic Museum, which you will not do for me.
Yeah.
All I want is a picture, and you won't give it to me.
Like, one picture. Please. Please. Please, I'm begging.
My sister had a baby, but the baby had no arms.
Oh my god, wait.
From Shark's Tale, the shrimp.
I was like, oh my god, I know this reference.
Not the gumdrop buttons!
That's not even the same movie, bitch.
I know, but it gets you every time.
It's a DreamWorks.
Yes.
Category is dream. I know things.
They're very much in the same vein.
What?
The shrimp from Shark's Tale and Gingy from
Yeah.
Whoa, they do have the same high voice.
They're different sides of the
They
same
have the same
coin.
energy, which is they steal the entire movie with a cameo.
That's tea.
At Smith's boyhood home in Stoke-on-Trent, the ghost of Smith has been spotted drifting through the house, and there have been reported cold spots, as well as mysterious flooding and other things going wrong with the house out of nowhere.
Mysterious flooding is crazy.
Right. I got a little bit of that
I'm like,
now.
Diva, how much unfinished business do you have to show up that much? Fuck.
Well, also, a lot of people said, like, this was supposed to be Smith's. Like, he was supposed to sail the Titanic to New York and back, and then he was going to retire. Because his daughter was pretty young. She was born, I think 1898.
Oh, yeah.
So she was like 12. No. Yeah, she would have been like 14 when this happened.
Yes, yeah.
When did the Titanic sink?
1912.
1912, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he got married and later in life, and then him and his wife waited to have a daughter. Until he was like really secure in his job.
No, they were like, that was that financial security.
Yeah, because he really did raise himself up, because like his dad was like a laborer, and he actually started working in like an iron forge before going to sea, and he rose up to like be this captain that was demanded by millionaires.
Bitch, you know so much about this shit. He's not reading notes anyone. He just knows this shit. This is crazy.
Back up his hand, down, like
right.
I have one last Captain Smith story.
Okay.
And this is the spookiest one. If you can't tell, I start with like the least spooky story and I work my way up to the spookiest.
Because showing up like full apparition to your spouse is not the spookiest option.
No, I just sometimes do that to Paul. Like, Paul's not even my spouse, he's just my best friend. But sometimes I'm just like, who taxes?
Oh my god.
That's like, shit, I should take the key off you.
The spookiest option.
You're out of wine.
Oh my god.
In 1977, Second Officer Bishop of the SS Winter Haven was giving a tour of a ship when a distinguished older British gentleman with a neatly trimmed beard began to ask him questions pertaining to every technical aspect of the ship. He thought this was a bit odd, but indulged him, and at some point in the tour, he lost him, and so he kind of peeked around the corner, but he was gone. A few years later, Bishop saw a picture of the man and recounted the story to a friend who informed him that it was impossible that he gave a tour to that man because that was Captain Smith, who died on the Titanic.
That's crazy.
That's actually gaggy boots.
Like, he gave a whole tour to this whole ghost. That's insane. Like, could you oh my god.
And it makes sense to, like, have this captain, who probably was very interested in the workings of, like, a modern-day ship. Like, what are you wearing on your ears? And what are you talking into? Because they didn't have microphones in 1912.
Right.
True.
That you'd be so confused.
Imagine
him showing up now, like seeing like an iPhone, like
You mean
the fuck?
You mean I could have spotted the iceberg with this? It's smaller than a bar of soap.
Yeah, that's crazy. I take back what I said about the wife. I was like, how could it get gaggier than that? That is.
The next ghost is that of Charles Melville Hayes. He was the general manager of the Canadian Grand Trunk Railroad and dreamed of turning his railroad into a second transcontinental railroad lined with grand luxury hotels, which he would build. At the time of his sailing on the Titanic, he had already built the Chateau Laurier in Ottawa, moving towards his goal. However, Hayes never got to see his dream come true as he perished in the sinking. But his spirit has taken up residence in his beloved hotel. Much of the activity occurs on the 5th floor near the Charles Hayes Memorial Suite, where his ghost is known to move objects and ghost belongings around the suite. He is regarded as a friendly ghost, only interested in the good care and upkeep of his hotel. And he will often show up to guests who are not staying in his memorial suite as a disembodied, lovely baritone singing voice from the 2nd floor of the grand staircase, and when you go up, no one is there.
Free music, girl, why not?
Hey. He's like a little number. A little one, too. He's like...
He's the real star of the show.
He's like... let me do a little number for the girls.
I say, look at all the guests down there. I could do a little, so let me call you sweetheart.
That's good.
He's like, did someone ask for a little jazz?
That's gonna be Blade Matthews at P-Town.
I could do a little ragtime.
We love Blade Matthews on this podcast.
Oh, it's so funny. Oh my god.
We stan.
I'm a Blade Matthews stan.
And this happens
We
a
all
lot.
are.
Oh my god.
We shouldn't say names on the pod. But
you-
one thing is, I'm gonna say names.
You're gonna censor and be like, I'm a stan.
Are you two done?
Blank.
Are you two done digging the hole you're currently digging yourselves into?
No. I'm like, no, and here, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I keep digging my grave. My hole. Censored.
Okay.
Bitch, you crack me up.
I'm gonna give we're gonna become a 3-person podcast, I swear. The next ghost is that of Benjamin Guggenheim.
More like Guggenheim.
Not a Guggenheim.
He was of the famous mining Guggenheim family, and he was traveling first class with his... What?
I was gonna say, oh yes, the famous Guggenheim miners. I know them very well. But
I think
that was a
I
dumb
love her
joke
work.
over my head.
I think a lot of people do know the family, if not with the Titanic, with the very famous Guggenheim Museum in New York.
Oh, yeah. Don't care. I'm sorry.
Hasn't sparked my interest. No, I'm sorry.
He was traveling first class, of course.
That's embarrassing. Aren't they like... Sorry.
Wait.
The intrusive thoughts. No, not riding first class, but like, bitch, you were riding first class and you didn't make it onto a lifeboat? I'm sorry.
Oh, wait. No, this is a good story.
Sorry, I think intrusive thoughts won. I'm like, girl.
Also, he was traveling Ritz Selby. He was traveling with his valet and chauffeur, along with his French mistress, Madame Aubert, and her maid.
Oh?
Guggenheim saw Aubert and her maid into a lifeboat before returning to his room to dress in his finest clothes after helping many other women and children into the lifeboats. He told his steward, "If anything should happen to me, tell my wife in New York that I've done my best in doing my duty." Both him, his valet, and his chauffeur all went down with the Titanic.
Damn, that's rough.
The lifeboat was right there, girl. He's like, let me put on my finest
He
jewels.
said, "I'm going to go down as a gentleman."
Oh.
And he got dressed in his nicest clothes, and he died a gentleman.
Yeah, girl, he just didn't want his wife to know about the mistress.
Oh,
he never wanted to have that.
She knew because later in life, one of his daughters reported that it was very normal for daddy to bring aunties home.
Oh, they were polyamory. They were open.
I don't think they were open. He had a lot of business interests, and so I think he just kind of picked them up as he went.
He's bringing new mommies home left and right.
His ghost has been seen roaming the campus of Monmouth University in New Jersey. Why? Because it used to be his family. You're like, what the fuck?
No, I'm like I'm invested.
I know, but you were just like, why the fuck is he roaming a university in New Jersey?
I was like, no, I mean, I was waiting for you to get to like the context of the story.
The connection?
Yeah, I was waiting to see how it connected.
Monmouth University was built on the Guggenheim summer estate.
Oh, he just wanted to go home.
Exactly.
Wait, that's so sad.
The two buildings on campus that are especially haunted by Benjamin are the Guggenheim Library, which is the former house, and the Lauren K. Woods Theater, formerly the Guggenheim Theater, and what was the carriage house of the estate during his life, where a shadow figure is seen walking around the rooms, and if as you're leaving at night and you turn off a light and he's still in there, he'll turn it back on.
Oh, you're like rude. He's like, I'm still here.
I'm still here.
Still here.
Waiting for my French mistress.
Oh my god.
You better be paying bills to be turning that light back on, though. Bitch.
Somebody look. Do the Guggenheim still have money? Not really.
Oh, R.I.P.
I'm sure they do still have money. I don't actually look it up. The next ghost is that of Dr. Henry Washington Dodge. And this goes to show you that terrible fates were not reserved just for those who died that night. Dodge managed to climb aboard a lifeboat, and at the very last minute when there were no more women or children to load into it. Upon rescue, he found himself shunned and branded a coward. To disprove this, he went on a lecture tour of the U.S. talking about the disaster and defending the men who survived.
Oh, damn. He was like the Andrew Tate of his era, huh?
Very that.
He was not 1900s Andrew Tate.
Right.
I will say it's better than one. So he put his wife and son into a boat and then continued loading, and he only climbed in when like there was no one else around.
Yeah.
Into this boat, which is better than the Titanic was actually used as the ground of divorce. I can't remember who it was, but a wife claimed that her husband left her in line for a lifeboat to cross to the other side to climb in a lifeboat of himself, and that his lifeboat left first. Therefore, he abandoned her.
Damn.
He cited abandonment on a sinking ship.
That's crazy. Well, I mean, if you wait until the last second, like, I don't think he's really like a coward.
No.
But going on a tour, he was just trying to collect. He was trying to rake up the coins.
Well, makes sense that this did little to improve his tattered reputation, and he fell into a deep depression and even survivor's guilt, talking about how he wished he had never climbed to the boat, which ultimately led to his 1919 unaliving himself.
Oh,
girl.
And he's largely considered to be one of the last victims of the Titanic. To this day, his ghost can be seen wandering forlornly around his former home in San Francisco.
that's kind of crazy.
Yep, left his heart.
Seeing so far, we haven't had one ghost on this actual fucking boat.
Yes, we have. Oh, on the boat.
Yeah.
On the boat.
Not
I'm
one
getting
more.
there.
Let's go.
Mary, how
The
can
boat
I see a
wasn't-
ghost underwater?
The boat wasn't found until 1986, Paul.
It really took them that long to find that stupid fucking boat?
It's 2 miles underwater.
Bitch, I don't know.
They're like, they should have tried harder.
Right, exactly. Swim a little
They actually
deeper.
tried. Oh my gosh. I'm not even going to get into all the craziest things they tried to raise it with. I will say this is probably the craziest one. And this was the Astor family, the Thayer family, they're from Pennsylvania.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. It's the No One Cares family.
Anyways,
Oh my god.
they recommended. They said because they wanted their family members' bodies back and they thought they were trapped in the ship, so they were like, "What we're gonna do is we're gonna send dynamite down,
That's definitely the first
And
option
it's-
I would have picked.
and it's
too.
gonna blow up, and it's gonna rattle the ship, and the bodies are just gonna raise to the surface."
Oh.
That's actually crazy.
That's so.
That's just high key crazy. Like there are some things like involving giant magnets or ping pong balls that I'm not gonna get into.
That's wild, girl.
This was
Ping
1912.
pong balls, girl.
Yeah, they were gonna like send ping pong balls or balloons down there and then inflate them to raise the ship.
They were so. Everybody's so creative.
Very that.
That's crazy. They were like, if we blow the ship up, these bodies that have been down there for years are
Well,
just
this
gonna
was, like, in
magically
1912.
Yeah, they had no. They were like,
This was in
They're
1912.
like,
They were
"Oh,
like,
maybe
so it just went down. So if we send dynamite, lit dynamite.
That's crazy. Lit dynamite.
Lit
They were
dynamite.
like, if we light dynamite and let it
And
drop
then throw
2
the
miles down underwater,
Exactly.
and by chance it's still fizzling, you know,
Stupid whores.
they had money, not brains. So,
Our next ghost is that of Margaret Brown.
oh my God, Queen.
Margaret Brown is one of the Titanic's most famous and beloved heroines. From Denver, Colorado. She was born poor. She married a miner who then struck it rich and became a leading socialite of the era.
She's canceled. Married a minor. Gross.
Oh my God.
Paul, you're fired. Citrus, would you like to co-host a paranormal podcast?
I don't know if I'm so much better because I literally that was so fucking funny.
She was traveling.
They're like, can't believe she married a minor.
Right. They were probably like 12.
You're gonna finish that? Can you cut me off?
That's such a. Oh God.
I was just joking, but I will take it. I need it.
And they struck gold.
They struck gold.
Yes. Citrus
Apparently.
Skies LLC does not associate with grooming on the pod. By the way.
Not the LLC. Jesus Christ.
I have no actual LLC. I'm like, I don't associate with any kind of grooming. Especially, yeah. Anyways.
As captain, I have the hat. I'm taking control. I really don't know why I didn't play that card till now.
Yeah, skill issue.
She was traveling in Egypt when she booked passage on the Titanic upon hearing her grandson had fallen ill back in the States. During the disaster, she effectively took control of the lifeboat she was in and encouraged the other women in it to row to keep warm and boost morale until they were rescued. Following the disaster, Maggie, as she was known as friend, she was actually never known in life as Molly, became a huge philanthropist for survivors and victims' families. Later on, an advocate for social causes, including women's suffrage, and late in life, an actress, before dying of a cerebral hemorrhage in New York City. However, her ghost is said to still inhabit her Denver mansion, now a museum called the Molly Brown House. The ghost of Maggie can be seen in her former bedroom. One psychic actually saw her and said it was so distinct that they were able to describe the antique lace on her gown.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Damn, bitch.
In the 1970s, she told another psychic visitor touring the house to tell the curator to expect a furniture delivery soon. A few weeks later, somebody donated some furniture that was original to the house.
That's crazy. Did they know who? Like, they never said who it was?
No, she just said, tell him to, Maggie was just like, tell him to expect a furniture delivery. And a couple of weeks later, somebody said, my grandparents, bought this off, when the Brown family was selling off furniture, they bought this and I want to return to the museum.
That's crazy.
Paul's not convinced.
I lost track of this story. I'm not going to lie to you.
Hey, we always need a skeptic.
Right.
Normally that's not Paul. One Christmas time, a tour guide arrived to open up the museum to find toy soldiers which had been placed under a Christmas tree lined up going up the stairs, one soldier per stair. She put them back and forgot about it, only to return the following morning after locking up herself to find all of the toy soldiers marching back up the stairs again. Perhaps a little humor from a woman known in life to be a warm and humorous woman.
That's crazy. They were marching back up the fucking stairs.
They weren't actually moving, but
Yeah.
they were placed they were going up the stairs.
That's creepy.
She was like, ooh.
She
said, one last prank. One last prank for the girls.
Let me get them together real quick.
She's like, ooh, this is gonna gag the girls. She's like, let me give a little joke.
So for our last category of Titanic ghost stories, these are just miscellaneous, not related to any specific one passenger, crew member, place, whatever.
Okay.
For years after the sinking, the wireless station at Cape Race, which is the radio station nearest to where the Titanic sank, has continued to pick up ghostly Morse-coded messages. As late as 1978, the Queen Elizabeth II picked up a Morse code message on an old wavelength saying, "Come quick, in danger, boiler room flooding, ship sinking." The operator, who was trying to fix a broken radio, switched to a stronger channel and asked, "What is your ship's name?" And clear as day, the response was, "Titanic." No further contact could be made, but the coordinates were recorded, and somebody remarked that they were very close to where the ship had sunk.
That one's got me gagged.
That one's got you.
Jokes aside, that one's crazy. The ghost Morse code, bitch.
Morse code got Miss Paul together.
Honestly, that's crazy. Shook.
Also, over the wreck site, various ships passing through the area have seen orbs over the wreck site, or mysterious glowing or fog. In 1982, passengers of a ship passing nearby saw flashes of light in the distance like those of distress rockets. They were passing about 2 miles away from where the Titanic sank, and the Titanic did fire off distress rockets.
That's so wild.
On another occasion, the shadow of a large four-funnel ship was seen in a mysterious fog near the site where the ship had sank.
Come on, ghost ship.
There have also been reports from ships passing the area of disembodied screams and old-time music.
That's so spooky.
They were trying to hear, they were like, "What is that?" And it was like, "Body, yada, 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 yada." They were like, "That's so crazy. What's that in the distance?" Fragments.
Is it nearer, my God, to thee? My anaconda don't. Anaconda.
Oh god, that's so funny. They were like, is that Nicki Minaj?
In the immediate aftermath of the sinking, the White Star Line hired local ships from Halifax to go out and recover the bodies of the victims left in the water. And they also hired local funeral homes to take out caskets and embalming fluids, because Halifax had a law that no body recovered at sea could be returned to land without being embalmed. Namely that of Swan and Sons, I believe was the name of the funeral company. And they got out there, and there were so many bodies that very quickly they used up all of the coffins and all of the embalming supplies. So the crews on these ships had to decide which bodies they were going to take back. And obviously, they chose the first class, and everyone else got burial at sea.
Oh my gosh.
There is now a Titanic graveyard in Halifax with just bodies recovered from the site.
Mm-hmm.
And the building where Swan's funeral home used to be is now a restaurant, and various ghosts have been seen in there. I'm not going to get into detail though, because it was a funeral home, and they did participate in the Titanic, but they also participated in the later disaster of the Halifax explosion, which was the largest man-made caused explosion until the atomic bombs.
Oh, wow.
And like for a 2-week period, they were having 200, 300 funerals a day out of there. So, not really sure whether that's a Titanic or a explosion ghost
It's a
story.
little mix of both.
But can you see why there are like orbs and screams there still? Like they're throwing the poor people over the side of the boat.
Yeah, girl.
They went out there to get them, and they're like, "Oh, we don't have room."
We're like, well, we gotta pick.
They get out there and they go, "We're gonna need a bigger boat." Thank you for getting my joke.
Oh my god. Until you goofed me on that one. That's something I actually did not know, actually.
In 1972, the SS Hitchcock was passing the sinking spot when a girl witnessed a ghost boy clinging desperately to the railing of the ship.
Oh.
Spooky.
He said, please.
That very same night, a couple was walking along the deck when they encountered an older couple in very out-of-date clothing walking arm in arm. The older couple nodded politely as they passed, but the younger couple turned to find that the older couple had disappeared.
Ooh.
This has been linked with the Macy's owner Isidore Strauss and his wife Ida, who famously went down together. Isidore was offered a place in the lifeboat on account of his age, and he said, "No, I will not leave the ship before any other man." And his wife got out of the lifeboat and said, "We have been married for 60 years. I do not plan on leaving you now." And they died together.
That's precious. I need a man like that. Someone that loyal? That's iconic.
That's the type of man you're not gonna find on any kind of dating apps, you know?
Right.
Any of those kind of dating apps.
Well, Paul, you were adamant. You wanted ghosts of the Titanic on the Titanic itself.
Yes.
I found ghosts on the wreck of the ship itself for you.
Period. Thank you.
On submarines diving down to the ship, there have been reports of whispers and disembodied voices that don't belong to any of the crew of the submarine in there. One oceanographer witnessed a shadow figure racing along the boat deck of the wreck. Not a shadow figure of a person. 2 miles underwater, where if you go that deep, you become soup.
Right.
Cue all the articles about the Titanic sub.
Oh, the submersible.
Can we talk about the irony of you have the story of a ship where it didn't matter how rich you were going to die because you can't tame Mother Nature. And then you have people going to see this wreck and it's a bunch of rich people who don't understand the fact and they die.
Yeah, I mean,
Crazy.
One second you're on your way to see the shipwreckage, the next thing you know you're all of a sudden the afterlife, like socializing with people that the ghosts that are there. They're like, oh shit.
Right.
They probably don't know the difference though, because it was like immediate combustion. It wasn't like no air like by Jordan Sparks type shit.
Right.
Which I would say is super rotted of me. I laughed at every single TikTok.
Funny bitch. It was so good.
But
I'm sure the victims of the actual Titanic disaster were laughing with us.
They were like, who the fuck are these new hires?
Right.
They're like, we haven't had a new hire in 74 years.
So I'm going to go on a tangent and just let me go there. It has a funny conclusion. In 11th grade, I took an AP literature course, and it was awful because my teacher kept... Now, I wanted to be a writer. I had my own voice because I'd been, writing on my own for a long time. All of her assignments were right in the style of this writer. And so I kept getting C's because she kept saying I wasn't capturing their voice. Well, no shit. I was writing my own voice. Well, our final assignment was to write a research paper on a historical event, and we had to present an argument, and it had to be written in our own voice that we had formed over the course of the class. And I wrote about the Titanic. And I poured my heart and soul into this paper, determined to not get a C on it, because I was like, I'm a good writer, I do not deserve a C. And now all I can say is, my teacher's last comments on this paper and the Titan sub have one thing in common, and that's their final words. Blub, blub.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
That was the only comment my teacher wrote on my paper. I wrote a 30-page paper on the Titanic, and then the thing she wrote on it was A, blub, blub, or A, I love the Titanic, ... blub, blub.
That's
Camp. Hi, Camp.
okay. Congrats on the A.
Thank you.
But also that's so
I never worked for an A so hard in my life. Not even with... We're not going to get into that story on air.
Not on the pod.
One submarine reported that as they were making a rise to the surface, they could hear the distant tune of the hymn "Nearer My God to Thee" as it raced to the surface, which as they broke the surface, it immediately stopped.
That's crazy.
That's weird.
But it wasn't WAP.
It was not.
It wasn't WAP.
So, probably some of the most famous hauntings of the Titanic are going to come from Titanic artifact exhibitions, which have many artifacts recovered from the wreck itself. Perhaps the trauma or souls of some of the 1,500 victims attached to these objects. Many people touring these museums or traveling traveling displays, like the one Citrus and I want to go to.
Hey, we will have gone to by the time that this comes out.
Because it closes on the 15th, the day after this comes out. Many people touring feel watched or extremely melancholy or even cold spots.
Spooky.
At the permanent display at the Luxor Resort in Las Vegas, there have been several paranormal occurrences. On the recreation of the first-class promenade on A deck, the ghost of the lookout who first saw the iceberg Frederick Fleet can be seen patrolling and keeping a lookout, perhaps out of otherworldly guilt for having caused the accident, because he didn't spot the iceberg soon enough for the ship to turn.
Oh, that's kind of sad, actually.
That's kind of sad.
On more than one occasion, a large framed portrait of White Star Line managing director J. Bruce Ismay, who did survive and had his reputation shattered by it, was captured on CCD. Oh, the Catholic trauma is coming up.
Oh, no, the Catholic trauma. He says CCD.
CCTV shaking and being ripped off the wall by unseen hands.
That's crazy.
At one point, a photographer arrived to take promotional pictures, and as he set up, witnessed a woman in Edwardian clothing walking down the replica of the famous grand staircase. He was startled as the room was roped off for him to work, but he offered to take her picture, thinking she was part of it. But she ignored him. He went back to setting it up, and he was suddenly aware of her being right behind him. He turned around and repeated his offer, but this time she did not walk away. She just disappeared.
Ooh.
She couldn't be bothered.
Honestly, same though. That's
she
a whole
said,
mood.
"Do not paint me like one of your French girls."
Period.
But perhaps one of the very best Titanic ghost stories comes from her sister ship, the Olympic. Despite her rocky start that we talked about under Captain Smith, she went on to have a famed and prolific career, winning much respect as a troop ship in the First World War. She was actually called Old Reliable for the fact that she always made her runs back and forth, and she actually rammed and sank a German submarine. And she became a firm favorite of the rich and famous throughout the 1920s and into the 30s. In 1929, the Olympic was sailing in the area where her sister had sank 17 years earlier, when the ship began to vibrate noticeably without explanation.
Sounds hot.
Here's a vibrator?
Many have claimed that this was a result of the Great Banks underwater earthquake of that year. But the following year, during a Christmas voyage, as the ship was passing in the same area, multiple passengers reported looking over the sides and seeing two identical ships sailing alongside the Olympic for a short period. Both of Olympic's twin sisters had sunk by this time. Titanic, after striking an iceberg in 1912, and Britannic after striking a landmine during World War II in 1916.
That's crazy.
And that's all I wrote.
Period. I had no idea there were so many spooky stories that had
1,500 dead.
That is a lot.
How did you?
Yeah. I mean,
no one ever talks about the ghosts. They only talk about the sinking in the movie.
So one thing that I did hear in one of the podcasts I listened to this research is, especially with spirits around the wreck itself, scientists don't want to invalidate the loss that occurred there, because the wreck of the Titanic, there's a huge movement among people to have it classified as a gravesite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And not as a shipwreck. Because with a shipwreck, you can take stuff away from it. If you mark it as a gravesite, you have to leave it alone.
Okay.
And you also have to get special permission to go there and not just go in your homemade submarine that's controlled with an Xbox controller. So there's this. So in an effort to not monetize the Titanic, they don't want to talk about ghosts down there.
Okay, that makes sense.
But I mean, these artifact exhibitions and museums, like the one in Pigeon Forge and Branson, Missouri, are said to be really haunted. I'm sure the one in Belfast, Ireland, super haunted. And they actually, at Belfast, have Titanic's little sister.
Huh, I didn't know they had a little sister.
They, Olympic, Titanic, and Britannic had a little sister. She was, in comparison, teeny tiny. She was meant to be a passenger ferry for harbors that were too small for the ships to enter to ferry passengers back and forth. Harland and Wolff, her original builders, have totally restored her to her 1912 glory. And you can tour her today. And I have been on her, and yes, I did weep.
That's very you-coded.
I know, it's very
you-coded. And if you don't get a picture...
So when I went to Ireland in college, and we did go to the Titanic Museum, and I went on a photo trip. It was photo and art history. And for the photo class, we had to make a picture book at the end of it. And the art history professor made her own book. And her photo book was just pictures of me crying in the Titanic Museum that she took on her cell phone. Because she literally followed me around with her camera like this. And every time she saw me crying, she was just like, click.
She's like, this is going to look really good on the social media.
Right?
It was a whole book of pictures of me crying.
She's like, the social media engagement's going to go crazy.
So, Citrus, I've got a question for you.
Hi.
Smash or pass?
Oh, God.
Leonardo DiCaprio in Titanic.
This is him during the filming of the Titanic.
Yes.
Oh, smash. In a car that's randomly on the Titanic. With the most unethical hand placement on the window. It's like how is her hand facing that way?
Yeah, like
but
she would have had to like in mid motion gone like wham.
It was like what position
Wait,
that
it was
is
hang
not
on.
Oh
Hang on. Because if she's on her back, she would have had gone.
She flex the amount of flex that the flexibility she has.
Well,
in her
she
wrist
was 17.
was crazy.
She was supposed to be 17.
Wait, really?
That's how she got that. Ooh, that's how she was getting
That,
the
I think
dudes.
that.
She was giving those crazy hand jobs.
Damn.
Oh, they did the full nookie. You don't get that sweaty.
I had no idea. It's because she don't look 17 in the movie.
I know.
She don't look 17 in the movie.
It's in the. It's like written in the script, like she's supposed to be 17.
That's crazy. They really were like, we're gonna make up these fictional characters, but we're gonna keep the grooming.
Well, that was supposed to be.
And Leonardo DiCaprio said, "Oh, I'm gonna take this and run with it."
Yeah.
Outside of acting,
Right?
now Leonardo DiCaprio in the movie, that little twink, he would have got it.
Sure.
Funny story, he nearly wasn't cast in the movie.
Oh my god. Is he too twinky?
No, because so James Cameron had someone else in mind to play Jack, but like Leonardo DiCaprio was so hot in Hollywood that Fox was like, just screen test him. And so James Cameron was like, gave him like one of the most intense romantic scenes to like read from. And Leo kept like joking, like making crude jokes throughout of it. Like, Rose, you're the most miraculous girl I've ever, like stuff like that. I was just gyrating my hips. For those of you who can't see.
Explain the visuals to the audience.
I think we have to become a video podcast, Paul.
I think we do too.
We have to have a video option.
Um,
Patreon, if you will.
Right. Get the folks involved.
Once we hit 100, we'll go to Patreon.
Right.
But James Cameron was like, God damn it, like, you stupid kid, why can't you just be serious? And like he yelled at Leonardo DiCaprio, or he said something along the lines of, I don't know why you're so hot, you're just a joke. And Leonardo DiCaprio was like, I'll show you a joke. And he gave the most stunning performance of his life in that audition room. And James Cameron was like, oh shit, you're hired.
That's crazy.
He just did a striptease. He was like, wah, 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 wah.
Like, James Cameron, like, if you watch Kate Winslet's screen test on YouTube, there's a different Jack.
I have not. I've never watched it.
Just type in, like, Titanic screen test.
I'm just be watching on my drive home.
Not on your drive home.
Oh my gosh.
He said it was exactly 20 minutes long. I'm like...
And then Kate Winslet stalking James Cameron to get the part.
And he said she wanted that part.
She wanted that part so bad. Paul, smash or pass Leonardo DiCaprio in Titanic?
Definite smash. He's definitely a cutie there.
He was a cutie then. He really went downhill after that.
What can you do?
You're telling me, you know the one... Oh, what movie did he win his Oscar for?
the one where he got attacked by a bear?
Yeah. You're telling me that Leonardo DiCaprio as the fucking daddy isn't a smash?
It is. I agree. I'm there with you.
He's smashed.
Citrus, remind me, how old are you? You're the same age as...
25.
Oh God, we're all...
You're at the end of your Leonardo DiCaprio shelf life.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, you hit 26 and he's not interested anymore.
Yeah.
Well, and you hit like 21 and he's like, I don't know, you're a little old for me. Leonardo DiCaprio, not me. I'm into older men. But
period. Mood.
That it's gonna really work out for you two for a year.
Oh, it'd be a fling if he was into not adolescent women. Anyway,
he could be into
smash
twins.
or pass.
Me?
It's for
definitely
you.
smash.
I mean, yeah, we knew the answer for everyone.
Do you know what I really should have done with you?
What?
I'm looking at Paul. I should have been like smash or pass, the old lady from Titanic.
Bye.
Smash.
The old
I'm
lady
gonna
that
flower
threw
for the
heart-
necklace.
The necklace into the ocean. She was like, it's been 74 years.
Well, it's funny you made that joke because to end this episode, I wanted to say sorry everyone for taking. It's been 84 years to discuss the Titanic on this episode, but I want to thank Citrus for coming on. I love a fellow Titanic kid, and you can come be first mate on any Titanic episode I do. Paul, did you finish scrubbing the deck yet?
Is that a sexual joke?
No, I made the joke because since you're crew, I'm gonna steer the ship. Citrus isn't gonna help me, and you're just
when they see the visuals, they'll get it.
you can
Right.
just go swab the deck.
Oh my God.
Swab it for chlamydia, gonorrhea, and AIDS.
Well,
And
I've
for
got
them
experience.
spiritually transmitted diseases, circling back to the beginning.
Yeah,
Them
from the
spiritually transmitted
Ghost
diseases.
coitus. Citrus, please tell our listeners where can they find you when you're not on our podcast.
Oh my God. You can find me on social media platforms, Instagram on smellslike_citrus. Maybe if you're into Facebook, I'm Citrus Skies. Yeah. I got a few unannounced gigs coming up.
Oh.
Some June.
In June.
Some pride.
Okay.
If you're feeling proud coming up.
Well,
I don't know. I'm not 100% sure if they're gonna be announced by the time
That's fine.
by today. When the episode's posted.
April 14th.
By April 14th, which is today, if you're listening. I don't know if they're gonna be posted by then. So, unnamed projects.
Yes.
But you will see on my social media if you follow.
Yeah, so please follow so you can see where you see Citrus.
And I will say she's one of the best performers I've ever seen. So you have to see this diva perform.
And honestly, you're at the heart of one of my favorite stories from when I did drag. I did Halloween drag, and I came up with this amazing concept. And you were supposed to come with a friend, and then you're like, oh, we're not coming anymore. I was like, oh, and I was like, I'm literally going to be performing in front of all of these strangers. And I go out and I look so sexy, and there I see you. And I'm like, oh my God, they came. Oh my God, my gimmick's coming up. And I had to run backstage because I did She-Wolf by Shakira.
I knew exactly
And I had to run backstage. I'm so excited. I'm like, I can't even be excited. My gimmick's coming up. And I had to run backstage and throw a werewolf mask on.
That
At which point, I think you threw an entire wad of cash at me.
I was like,
it was like raining.
Take my money, cause you goofed and gathered me. Cause you like started your number. Like I think you were talking about it. You like didn't like you did not go into detail at all about it, and I was like, she's not giving tea. But you started the number, and I was like, She Wolf by Shakira.
For Halloween? How original.
Bitch, I was gooped and gagged. I was not prepared for the wolf mask. I was like,
period.
Grinder.
She didn't know.
I probably would have won if I had walked out at the end of that night with the werewolf mask on again.
Oh,
but I didn't. I was like, I want to be glamorous.
It was so good. It was also like, it was a super stacked competition that night too. But like that was
iconic.
That was iconic.
Yeah.
Iconic. I didn't get a video of it. I was too busy throwing ones. But just in your mind, imagine it.
Yeah.
It was kind of kind.
I think Jacksafruit has a video of me doing it the second time.
I love Jackson. I just gotta Jacksafruit on this.
I just gotta slide into his DMs, obviously just for the video.
He said, "Hey, Daddy."
Right. Anyways, it's been 84 years and you can still smell the fresh paint. No, you couldn't. Anyways, you can please like, subscribe, and follow us wherever you listen to us. Please leave us that 5-star review. And definitely join our cult and tell your friends, family members, neighbors who are into the paranormal comedy wine pairings about us. You can follow us online, and please do, on Facebook, Crips and Corks, on Twitter, @Crips and Corks, and on Instagram and TikTok, @Crips and Corks Pod. If you'd like to email us, whether it's for personal stories so we can start listener stories, or for episode suggestions, you can email us at cripsandcorks@gmail.com. Paul, where can they find you?
You can find me at my personal Instagram @PaulEmber, PAULEMBER, or my personal TikTok @PaulEmber, PAULEMBER. And as usual, it's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
And if you would like to find me, you can find me on Instagram and on TikTok @TheRealDeejPowers. And I think that's all she wrote, and we will catch you all next week. And yeah, that's it. Thank you, Citrus, for being on.
Yes,
you made having me.
You made this.
I was like, is this the time where I'm like, you can also find them on Grindr at Anonymous Come Down. But that'll be edited out in the final.
You
recording.
can find me at Twink Looking Devil Face.
I emoji,
oh
peach emoji.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, God.
And on that note, remember to actually look out for icebergs and keep your crips tight.
And your corks loose. Bye!
Am I really not bae? Just fam?
Yeah, bitch.
Fuck you.